Welcome back to the stream, everybody, as we're heading in with the ECAC Full Contenders Diamond to Masters Division, looking at Overwatch 2 right now. My name is Seymour, joined by Try Hard Ray. How you feeling, buddy, as we're hopping in now with our last match of the night?
Yeah, feeling fantastic. We're going to have St. Joseph's University versus Central Missouri University. So two teams both sitting at 3-1, trying to punch their way into the playoffs. We were told beforehand that each win gives them 2 points. So by math deductions, if they get their win today, they're going to punch their ticket into the playoffs.
Yeah, just simple maths. And, you get to 4 wins, you got enough to reach those playoffs. So it's a big, meaningful night right now for both the University of Central Missouri as well as St. Joseph's University. The Hawks going up against the Mules tonight for everybody. Excited for this one. I am excited to see these two go up against each other, Try Hard Ray, just because of those stipulations alone. It's all about the storylines here when we're looking at ECAC. But we are heading in with our control map number 1. We got Lijiang Tower to look at between both of these. Do you have any expectations, anything that you're looking forward to tonight?
I think especially with the meta change we got a couple weeks ago with the new patch, it's been a very brawl-centric type of compositions where it's different flavors of the brawl, but it's all a brawl at the end of the day, whether you want to play the Orisa with it or the Reinhardt or the Junker Queen, and even we have Sigma Brawl. But one of the main stakes we have seen is the Mei. They got a huge buff to her primary fire, and especially on Lijiang Tower, and going up against enemy brawls, being able to isolate the tanks with those Mei walls is very important.
Those Mei walls definitely going to be quite tricky when we are looking at both of these teams just trying to look to get an edge on each other. We got our lovely fly through for Lijiang Tower as I was looking into where we are starting. That is to be determined out of this control. It does look like we got Gardens, or no, sorry, we got Night Market for our first map here inside of this best of 5. So we're hopping in with St. Joseph's getting up against Central Missouri. I'm excited. You look at these like you're expecting the brawl comps, the Reinhardts on each side, the Mei going up against the Bastion. That's going to be exciting. The TP to point for both of these two teams. And this is where the Mei is going to give a little bit more to the team.
Yeah, that it will. And they got to the point just a little bit faster with the Mei, so it makes Bastion his tank configuration. He just had to waste it. So that's a lot of damage off the field for Central Missouri.
It is. And now both teams just trying to size each other up. This Bastion might be able to get that tank configuration back, and he will, but the Mei wall to block him off. The pin right in for Buzzkill takes Jacrispy off the map, and no more tanks. That means it's going to be just one big brawl. Buzzkill just trying to hold off, already down to the Shatter, the Fire Strike to take down Astro, and St. Joseph's to get first point control after Missouri's little bit of progression.
Yeah. Central Missouri Buzzkill just getting aggressive on this Reinhardt is going to be very key. Trying to take out the enemy tank. It was a great aggressive charge, and the team was able to move in and back him up properly, throw that immortality field, and keep him alive to basically support the aggression he's trying to play with. And St. Joseph is trying to do a little fake TP. It's already destroyed, so they know that's not available to them. The play's gone.
Astro taking a lot of damage here, and the Mei goes down. Mix up with a huge play. The amplification matrix going to be dropped down just for a little bit of insurance out of Central Missouri, but they're already up to 40%.
It's a lot to be gained. Amp Matrix was thrown out, so you don't have to deal with that kind of tool. If you're St. Joseph, you're going to push in with one of those. And Central Missouri has no sound barrier to deal with this Amp Matrix, so you place this perfectly, and this could be the catalyst for St. Joseph's to try and push back and take this point back.
Here comes the wall from your Symmetra. PT Handley going to drop it down, split this point, and now to take control. Astro, nice headshot there with your Icicle onto Lord Pretzel. Buzzkill for another pin through. Looks like Jacrispy wants to go for a little bit of a chase here, see if he can take down this Reinhardt, and there's the slam down. It finds 3. Cloudburst and Goat Bust are going to be able to go down from that Earth Shatter. Buzzkill takes down PT Handley off the charge. Will end up dropping, and does look like the point will be flipped, but 78% is not too bad for Central Missouri.
No, not bad at all. And the good thing for Central Missouri is you force Asher to have to use that Blizzard in that fight to be able to turn it. You're going to be in an uphill battle for these next couple of fights. St. Joseph's going to have both of their support ultimates to use, but you've got to bide your time, force out these support ultimates, and just build up to your own. And it's only going to take one really good fight from you to flip this and take the point.
One good fight could mean the end to his first point of Lijiang. The pin off from Buzzkill, and Cloudburst is going to be the one to fall, but Nice answer back here from St. Joseph's. That application matrix is keeping them alive, but Earth Shatter yet again for Buzzkill. PT Hanley drops. Trying to hold on is this Reinhardt, but against a Lucio and a May, the sustain is there, and Astro's going to be able to hold on for the team.
Yeah, and that's the other side for Central Missouri. Buzzkill making a lot of aggressive play, but in that situation, St. Joseph learned from their previous mistakes. They just collapsed on the rest of the team, kind of let Buzzkill do his own thing, confirm that kill, but you killed the rest of the team.
Yeah. Don't worry about the Reinhardt right now. It is a support meta at the moment. You want to get to them as quick as possible. Lord Pretzel going to have that sim wall, going to drop it ASAP. Now splits it completely in half vertically. Jay Crispy with the shatter reaches both supports, and Puku Naho didn't stand a chance. St. Joseph's has brought this completely back.
And this is where things get extremely dangerous for Central Michigan. St. Joseph's can continue to hold this point aggressively. They're going to have a blizzard and a photon barrier for protection, while Central Missouri's really relying heavily on this amplification matrix coming out of Naho, trying to get an early pickoff in this fight.
The gates can open too. The AM Matrix with the Fire Strike. Maywall going to block it off. Last fight territory, but Astro goes down. PT Hanley's going to split the point with that sim barrier, and nobody able to get on just yet, but another slam huge from Buzzkill reaches the back line, and Central Missouri with enough to keep them in contention for this first point.
It's all going to come down to this final fight for both teams. Central Missouri relying heavily on a Kitsune rush, while St. Joseph, they have 3 ultimates in their back pocket. This is St. Joseph's fight and point to lose. They have the weapons and their artillery.
Puku almost getting the 2-tap on the sim, but a fake TP yet again. St. Joseph's back to the start. Gateway's going to be opened up from the Kiriko, but through the Ant Matrix, Crispy's going to find Puku. Buzzkill, who has gone all the way back towards that Baptiste, is going to be able to keep them even when it comes down to the sports mix-up. Takes the sky with the artillery barrage, but it doesn't matter. They've broken the line. St. Joseph are on the point, and it looks like Night Market is on its way to be St. Joseph's as the Hawks strike first here, the best of 5.
Very well played by St. Joseph's, being able to get in there, use that amplification matrix. They were able to use that Fire Strike to get the kill on the Kiriko, so they're not able to take full advantage of that rush. Yes, it went on the field, but your Kiriko can't sit there and heal you and give those quick Suzus that you get because of the faster cooldowns. So you completely nullified basically what the value you were trying to get out of that rush, and you're able to just steamroll it from there on out. As we now move over to Gardens, Central Missouri is making a full-on swap. They are going over to a dive composition with the Wrecking Ball, and they're going to play a little bit of Pharmacy, which I think could be very smart, given that St. Joseph's, the only hit scan they have available to them is a Baptiste.
I mean, the Bastion is definitely going to be something you have to be worried about, too, with, you know, how good Astro has been when it comes down to that left click on May, but Mix-up might be a little bit caught high and dry, but Bizkill is actually going to find a boop onto both Godburst and PT Hanley, and you can ask for a better start from Central Missouri.
Yeah, that's the problem with as we're going to see St. Joseph's already swapping over to that Sombra. Going to be a big counter to that Wrecking Ball to not allow them to maneuver around as well, and getting that virus onto people. St. Joseph's now going to go over the Diva, which I really like this. Diva, you know, you get the hack with the Sombra, and then you can follow up with the micro missiles. It's a lot of burst damage you can get onto this Wrecking Ball and force him into uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, with that, you know, rework of Sombra, finally get to see it in somewhat of a competitive setting here for Collegiate Overwatch. And now 20 seconds, or 20% guarded for Central Missouri. Buzzkill looking towards the back line. Here's PT Hanley now trying to keep him sized up. The Farah reaching the Sombra. PT Hanley in a little bit of trouble, trying to find the hack onto the Wrecking Ball. Buzzkill's not going to allow it. Somehow stays alive for a little bit longer than expected. Mix-up and Lord Pretzel doing the dirty work here when it comes down to this damage. And Eva's going to get D-Max. Lucio still on the point. That Pylon keeping Mix-up full HP right now from that Ilari. And Central Missouri, just like last time on Night Market, doing a great job at holding this point.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna finally get that there, but they've been doing a really bad job of trying going after Lord Pretzel. I mean, like I mentioned, their only hit scan available to them is that Baptiste. And I mean, you have the Diva, but Jake Crispy hasn't really been making a big effort to try and help their team go after Lord Pretzel. And look at this arsenal of ultimates. Central Michigan hasn't used a single one, and we're sitting at 70%.
5 ultimates on Central Missouri, as noted. EMP coming up soon for PT Hanley. Something you got to watch out for, but setting up for the barrage. The artillery is going to drop down from the Bastion. You see Buzzkill trying to go for the boop to keep them inside of that ultimate, but it's not going to work. Barrage from the far is going to drop. Find Cloudburst. PT Hanley goes down to the Ilari. Beat's going to drop for St. Joseph. They want to turn this, and it looks like J. Crispy looking to do everything to make that happen. Buzzkill stay alive. Naho still kicking. The Ilari not willing to go down without a fight and able to put it down. Naho looking for the 99-0. Central Missouri looking to answer back right away on Lijon, but not just yet. St. Joseph still managed to get back to this one. You do see the Cactus Sun from Naho is going to reach onto the backline, and Cloudburst will end up dropping. Buzzkill gonna look to clean up the rest, but St. Joseph trickling in one by one. The swap to the Wrecking Ball for Crispy. I don't know if it's going to be enough, Ray. This looks like we're going all the way down.
That we are. I think the big issue for Central Missouri going forward is they were absolutely dominant on this ball composition. And yes, I believe on this final map, Control Center, you can get away with playing the ball, but your job is going to be so much harder, and you have to play absolutely perfect because Control Center is known for being a full stop brawl map. And there's so many close quarters. It makes Buzzkill's job to maneuver around hard. And there's not a whole lot of high ground for Lord Pretzel to play around with on that Thera. So they're going to have to just be perfect to make this composition work on this map.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're sticking with it, to be honest. I mean, Astro back over towards that May. It's not going to be easy for Buzzkill to really make any movements. If St. Joseph can path correctly, stick together, they should be in the better composition at the moment, as they're going to spot out Buzzkill sitting on that Wrecking Ball. Crispy, the first one over towards the point. You see Lord Pretzel, this pharmacy, going to be floating above this point, and Astro is actually going to go down, so Cloudburst has a whole lot of work to do on this Baptiste just to see if he can clip the wings of this Pharah. It's not going to happen. The immortality doesn't go up in time. Cloudburst drops, and seems like Central Missouri going to pick up right where they left off.
I mean, shout outs to them. I mean, being able to make this work on a more open map, on a more close quarters map that this map provides. But for St. Joseph's, it felt like in this brawl, you predicate yourself on having to stick together as a group, and it didn't seem like they did that. As soon as they got to the main fight, they all kind of split out from each other, and they didn't have good focus fire. Now they're going to go have J. Crispy go over to the Diva, but that's the only change they're going to make. I feel like in this situation, the Symmetra, you don't get a lot of chances to build up that beam, therefore you lose a lot of that value of the Symmetra.
Still sticking with the Sim, though, and choosing to tons of damage from Lord Pretzel onto that backline, forcing them to use that natural cover. Maywall going to be burned early in this fight. Not able to split and isolate any of these kills either. TP right on towards the Bastion, but nobody's going to take it. Lucio caught in the open. Still alive and kicking, all 5 members of either team, as they're looking to take the fight outside. The boop finds mix-up. Bastion's going to be off. Lord Pretzel swept down. Rez possibly going to be here, but Puku not going to have a chance at that. 56, maybe 57% for Central Missouri, but St. Joseph, they finally break through.
Finally, some positive momentum. They finally broke through this ever so slightly. The issue is, yes, St. Joseph, they're going to have a lot of ultimates online, but this Blizzard from Astro, who are you even able to throw it on? I think your only viable target is the Bastion, but Central Missouri has to know that, and they're going to have extreme peel for mix-up.
Have to imagine Buzzkill already causing quite the ruckus. Low HPs, the Sim, PT Hanley forced to use that photon barrier. Artillery barrage to the opposite, and gonna take down 3 players of St. Joseph's. The Hawks go down, Central Missouri back on point. Diva D Max, and ended back into collecting this progression.
An expensive fight for Central Missouri for St. Joseph's that only cost them a singular ultimate, as they now have PT Handley going over to that Sombra. Last time we saw the Sombra get a decent amount of value. Are you going to be able to continue to do that? Because the problem is you're not going to be able to build up to any sort of EMP. So you're really hoping that this hack with the virus is going to do its damage.
Susie used Sosa early, but Naho is going to lose out on that pylon. Captain Sun to take to the sky. He's going to land right onto Astro over the sound barrier. In reply, JaCrispy burns that Diva Bomb. And it seems like Central Missouri still managing to hold on to this fight. It's chaotic. A bloodbath for both sides. Lord Pretzel still in the air, just trying to outlive this Diva. Putting so much focus on this Farah, but PT Handley still ends up dropping everything down to JaCrispy and Central Missouri. Now all the focus to win out on Lijiang, start leading this series. The Blizzard, Astro gets back to this one, and no way they're going to turn this back. That's incredible, but it's not done just yet. Astro might have got the Blizzard. 2 to follow up. JaCrispy takes down Puku, but Buzzkill's in, and he drops it in those mines as well. Both teams fighting tooth and nail just to win out this first point, but how long can they hold on? As it's just one by one, each member of St. Joseph's falling. The artillery barrage. It's Naho to take down the Lucio, and Central Missouri to take map 1.
As they find so much value in the Wrecking Ball Farah composition, St. Joseph's just didn't have the goods to get Lord Pretzel down fast enough. We saw attempts coming out from JaCrispy, from some of the players on St. Joseph, but it was never fast enough, and either Lord Pretzel would find a kill or they would stay alive long enough to allow, for example, their Wrecking Ball to get back and throw those mines on point, and then you just got all of that value. That fight there should have been St. Joseph's, but they allowed the players to live too long of Central Missouri.
Damn, the stall presence from Central Missouri was impeccable from each of them, and the individual capabilities on that composition to just play your life, play around the composition that St. Joseph's was looking to put together to stop that. And it seemed like there was a little bit of an idea there from St. Joseph's that they lingered on for a little bit too long. I think the Symmetra from PT Handley, albeit fantastic back on Night Market, towards the ends of Control Center, you just didn't see that same impact. And I don't think, with how new the Sombra rework has been, it didn't look like they were getting as comfortable on that character. So Buzzkill was free to kind of rain terror on that Wrecking Ball all throughout.
Couldn't agree with you more. They stuck on the Symmetra on both maps for far too long. Symmetra's a great shield buster going against like a Rhine Mirror, or even if you're going against like a Zari where the tanks are like up against each other and you're able to farm that beam. Wrecking Ball is constantly moving around. You can't get constant beam charge. So, and then by the time on that last map when they swapped to Sombra, it was just too little too late. So as we look forward into the series, St. Joseph's is going to have to find some sort of answer for this Wrecking Ball composition that Central Missouri has just been on fire with.
And, to be determined where we are going for that this second map, but I'm pretty sure it is going to be hybrid for map number 2, and it's going to be the pick of St. Joseph's. So where they take us, I'm going to be excited for. Do you have any idea of where, you might be thinking to go to maybe combat this pick of Wrecking Ball and deny, that chance?
So this is Overwatch, and this is, hybrid. So my first thought is always Kings Row, because all teams pick Kings Row when it's a hybrid map choice. And I do thinking about all the hybrid maps we have available to us, Kings Row with Wrecking Ball, you kind of limit a lot of what the Wrecking Ball can do with the close quarter alley pushes. There's just not a lot of maneuverability for a Wrecking Ball, because you think of Eichenwald, a lot more open area for Wrecking Ball to run around. Same with Midtown. I just think Kings Row is the most limiting to a Wrecking Ball.
I mean, even if you go to like Midtown, you're thinking of like a Sigma composition. The Reinhardt's a whole lot better. I just think there's better options when it comes down to some of these hybrid maps of the Wrecking Ball composition. And in that case, I mean, you have to look at a team like St. Joseph's and the way that they played Night Market going into hybrid. They might be a little bit more comfortable for that brawl, and this might be exactly what they need to bring themselves back into the series after that, because they started off so strong in the inside of that control for Lijiang on Night Market. I mean, just their adaptability from start to finish of, how they began Night Market and how they finished it. No longer, putting the focus on Buzzkill, doing a great job at targeting that support line. They made the nice changes for that map number 1 to start off strong, and I thought that was definitely going to be a St. Joseph's win throughout that, but it wasn't. And now they're looking at bringing it back in hybrid as we are getting Scrims Row map 2.
Yeah, no surprises there. That's pretty much what I figured coming out from St. Joseph's. Very good in the brawl, and this map is just so good for it. I always like to make the joke that, yes, Eichenwald is Reinhardt's home, but really it's King's Row with the amount of Reinhardt you play on this map. As that's going to be my big question, because Reinhardt struggles going against the Wrecking Ball. Let's say you're expecting, after the results you got on Lijiang Tower, for Central Missouri to play the Wrecking Ball going forward. I feel like that opens up a big opportunity to go Orisa. That Javelin can really disrupt the Wrecking Ball if you can hit them with it. You can still poke the Thera from afar, and you have the ability with your Fortify to not be booped around by this ball, and we're seeing exactly that coming out of St. Joseph's on this defense.
Yeah, St. Joseph's picking up the defense on King's Row right away, looking to set the precedent on how to begin. But again, I'm thinking about, this far. Now you take the focus away from the Wrecking Ball. You have to look towards Lord Pretzel, and I'm not sure anybody has really been able to put this Pharah out of commission just yet. Lovely Javelin onto Mix-Up, and we did get a substitute too. It's Jeff in place on this Bastion role for the likes of St. Joseph's for PT handling, and it looks like this is exactly what they need.
Just what the doctor ordered for St. Joseph's. Already a very much more improved, impressive start to King's Row. They just got to keep this momentum going because, despite them winning that fight, Lord Pretzel is pretty much free in the skies and is getting so much ult charge. You get the Mercy, but you're going to have to be extremely weary coming up at this next fight of Lord Pretzel throwing that rocket barrage onto your team.
It's PC handling now onto the Baptiste role, so out of the Symmetra into the maybe hit scan role for your support. Like I said, it's a support meta right now, so you're looking to see if he can make a difference. Ant Matrix right away. Javelin just barely missing out on Buzzkill as he's still shaking up these players. Boop away from the Ant Matrix. Nobody's on the other side taking any looks in. And I'm taking a look at the artillery that we're going to get from Mix-Up as well as the barrage soon from Lord Pretzel. This is going to be very dangerous for St. Joseph's if they let Lord Pretzel get in.
And they've gotten mixed up, so that's a lot of damage off the field for St. Joseph's, but the Orisa is just continuing to do so much work. Crispy has found new life in this tank. Has the ability to really hold his ground with the Fortify and the amount of tankiness that the Orisa provides. So shout outs to them, but Central Missouri coming in 5 ultimates as St. Joseph's already burned both of their supports to keep this point alive.
Lord Pretzel already looking for a way in. Right away, you do see that the Terror Surge going to be used to pull Naho in deep. Crispy takes down 2. Our barrage clipped from the sky by yours truly. PT Hanley steps up for the team and denies Central Missouri of anything using those 2 ultimates.
This is exactly what Central Missouri, what St. Joseph's needed coming into this fight. Buzzkill has been crazy with these mines. He's going to have that in this fight as Lord Pretzel no longer on that Thera, going over to the Hansa. So the one thing you just have to be worried about going forward for St. Joseph's is peaks. Hanzo could one-shot you in an instant.
Immortality keeps the team alive. They back up, and Matrix is right on point, so there's a lot of sustain to deny Central Missouri that space. And Crispy, while this is going down, still continuing to hold Central Missouri back. Captive Sun right deep in the back line. The Wrecking Ball going to take down 2 with those mines. In retaliation, it's Astro to Crispy to keep this fight even as they are still fighting for it. Astro in a 1v2. Larry with that Mercy Pocket, keeping their supports alive. Astro has to fall back on 9 HP. But Naho's not going to let him go. Lovely from Central Missouri, finally breaking through.
What an impressive defense from St. Joseph's, taking out like everything but about 30 seconds of that clock. That has to be a huge relief. But the big problem is they didn't just back up and allow this point to give it to them and then just retake the fight. So you're going to get these archways for free because you have to wait for your support to get back. You need your Baptiste to push if you're St. Joseph's.
Now this gets a little bit more complicated for Central Missouri using this Wrecking Ball in, close quarters. Will it have as much of an impact? Crispy should be able to shut him down, but at the same time, you think of Mix-Up and how good he's been on this Bastion when it comes to, these tight, narrow corridors that Kings Row has provided. Point two, Mix-Up almost jumps right into the team. And they're going to take that opportunity with open arms. Bastion did not know what he was jumping into.
Yeah, unfortunately, that was a little bit too overzealous if you're Mix-Up to push up that far ahead of your team. St. Joseph's was bound to punish you, and that they did. And now they have a lot of tools they're going to hold here at these archway / the bookstore corner. It's a very strong defensible position, but Buzzkill's going to have this ability with their mines online. This is where things get dangerous on the Wrecking Ball. Because you're in close quarters like this, it makes the mines very...
Well, PT Hanley gonna use that immortality to stay alive. Terror Surge gets 5 players inside of it. The immortality gonna keep the team alive for a short while, but the cleanup crew is here. And Central Missouri getting swept under the rug one by one. They fall. We're down to 1:30 left. An expensive fight from St. Joseph's using 3 ultimates, but they're holding this point so close.
That it was an expensive fight, but you kept 2 very important ultimates. Buzzkill now going over to the Zarya, which I am a big fan of this swap. The one thing you could do to try and mitigate the Zarya is mitigate the Orisa is build up to high charge. Orisa cannot mitigate primary fire of Zarya.
That or wall them off. It's gonna work. Captive Sun goes deep right onto the Ant Matrix. PC Hanley has to back off from those open sight lines. Just stay alive for the team. Try to keep Crispy alive, but that's a nicely charged Zarya running right into your backline. And now Central Missouri with the fight back here on P2 Kings Row. They take control of this payload.
Yeah, and even with the Fortify available to you, if you're Crispy, if you're a high enough charge for Buzzkill, it's not going to matter. You're going to melt that Orisa. You're going to come back. Asher's going to have the Blizzard. That is their win condition, as we are pretty much on final fight territory for Central Missouri. They need Mix-Up to find a big artillery strike.
Buzzkill's got to care for this May wall, but it's going to be used to block off this Bastion ultimate. Still Go Buzz gets caught. And look how charged Buzzkill is, just running right towards those supports. Naho's going to get traded out. Blizzard's going to hold Lord Pretzel still. The pylon's going to go down from Naho. And St. Joseph, even though they lose that Lucio, they're still looking to hold this point. But oh no, Mix-Up takes down Crispy. It gets a little bit shaky. They get it done in the end. 89 meters for Central Missouri on Kings Row. They didn't get the second point captured.
That's an extremely strong position for St. Joseph's to be in. You got to favor them going forward on this map. They have found the counter punch they needed to the Wrecking Ball, which was the Orisa, and it's been very impressive. The problem is Central Missouri kind of found the way in to try and deal with the Orisa. It was just too little too late at that point. So if they play the Zarya going forward, how will St. Joseph's respond? Are they going to be able to tie this up 1-1, or are you going to be facing a deficit of OW2 hoping to reverse sweep?
You have to be a little bit worried about that Wrecking Ball pick for Buzzkill. I like the swap to Orisa. It seems like he's learned his lesson, Ray. It was painful sometimes watching the Wrecking Ball try to do as much as possible, and it's just still not enough in this meta sometimes.
Yeah, it goes to show you that it's a well-picked map coming out from St. Joseph's to limit a lot of what Buzzkill was able to do on that Wrecking Ball. As we see defensively, they're pretty much going to mirror Central Missouri. My big issue is they have Puku on this Kiriko on the defense. Suzu's awesome, and Kiriko being able to hit those headshots is cool. But these Orisa Brawl compositions with May Bastion thrive on having this Lucio speed boost. I just think the St. Joseph's composition is better because you have the speed boost available to you.
Doesn't seem like Central Missouri, the Mules, they don't want to speed. They just want to sustain. That Suzu's going to be burned, and so is the Ice Block from Lord Pretzel. Naho is going to be the first to fall, and losing out that Baptiste, you're losing out a whole lot of healing for the rest of your team. Puku next to go down, and they fall so quickly. St. Joseph's are going to capture this first point with still over 3 minutes of time.
That's the big issue. When St. Joseph's comes into you with that with that speed boost, you have no counter rotate. Yes, you could counter rotate, but you're not able to do it fast enough. St. Joseph's just going to get in your face with that Bastion and focus you down, and that's exactly what happened. Central Missouri now going back over to that Wrecking Ball, but we talked about the struggles. It just feels like they're trying to cling onto some hope of making what worked on Lijiang work on Kings Row.
Astro, another one's going to fall first. It's Lord Pretzel this time, getting the better of their May counterpart. Astro is so close to this Blizzard. Ant Matrix online. So is that Bastion ultimate. And Crispy close to getting this Terra Surge back onto the Wrecking Ball for Buzzkill. And is this going to be enough for that stall presence? Maybe, but to win out this map, I don't know.
I agree. That is the big question mark, as the Kitsune Rush is now going to come out for Central Missouri.
The gate's open, and that's Buzzkill's chance to shine. Astro's going to get an answer back, taking down that Kiriko and melting this Bastion. Not before the ult gets dropped right onto Astro's head. Here comes the Blizzard. Crispy takes down Mix-Up. Immortality is good for a little bit, but Naho won't be long for this fight. And all in all, St. Joseph are going to be continuing this payload push.
As Buzzkill's extremely low on the Wrecking Ball, having to get out of there, and he will. So he'll be able to come into this fight and stall just a little bit longer to afford some of the people to come back for Central Missouri. They're really hoping Lord Pretzel can build up to this Blizzard.
Oh, the poop. The mines don't reach. And again, it's just Central Missouri continuing to fall on Kings Row. St. Joseph's, they had an idea. They might have fallen a little bit short of the finish line back on Lijiang, but they go to Kings Row. They feel safe with this Orisa pick, and they get their job done to even up the series.
As that is exactly what St. Joseph's needed. Not only to tie it up, but to find a counter to the ball. Orisa bringing that tankiness and bringing just that, it almost feels like you shall not pass with the Wrecking Ball. Like just holding their ground and not being an immovable object, essentially. Allowing the rest of the team to focus that damage with the May Bastion on everyone else. So that's going to be the big question going forward for Central Missouri. They win that first map playing the Wrecking Ball, but the counter has been made. Are you able to find a counter shot to this Orisa? Because you did not do so great in the Orisa matchup. I think that Zarya had some potential if they would have explored it going forward. They just didn't give it enough time on their defense.
No, not enough time, and they end up falling short on Kings Row. It's big out of the Hawks. St. Joseph's, they tie us up here in this best of 5. We got Escort coming up next, but for right now, a small little break. You're watching the ECAC, and we got a short break. We'll see you on the other side.
That I think if you can use Milkman to shut down a B-Rush, you're pretty happy with that, especially if they're rushing right in. Mental Athlete catches 2, looking for more. Chris will not be outdone. Make it 3 for Mental Athlete. Yeah, that was more. You're more than happy with that trade.
And that means no KJ utility either, no extra peaks. And there's a quick trade down. Hookah wins between the Omens. It's Ummo and uh-oh for Mars Hill, as that's going to be a Brooklyn College first map win. Players, just 1 shot left. Probably 30 HP combined as Noodle gets traded. It's all up to Chris. Headshot necessary for Excite as he's trying to dance around the side. Doesn't know where he's coming from. And Chris just barely secures it. I think 1 more second of stalling.
Yeah.
And that's a Mars Hill round. So absolutely brutal. The concussion come through. Flashpoints as well. This is an all-out brawl.
So much utility.
Ramp coverage. And everyone's here, and it's all looking good for Brooklyn, maintaining that weapons advantage, just rushing on in, and that's a flawless in this map point round. Suddenly surrounded, I think got shut down by a Rolling Thunder, and sure, Geiper's looking the wrong way, but that is a perfect defending half for Mars Hill for the win. Shot down, and that's gonna be an extra kill from the blast, and now it's just Geiper left after a flurry of kills. And no time to waste. There's too much on the clock. Lots of damage dealt, but only 1 taken down.
Trades on one on each. Knives finally come out, though. I could hear them. Didn't look like they caught anything, though. There's the flank. Axite with a stringer doesn't find anything now. But trades coming through. One on each. Chris continue to trade 2-2.
Oh, no.
Down. Finally, the picks on Pixie.
Oh!
That's it. MHU stays alive.
Another moment where you're worried for him. Polo Spring gets that first blood. 2 members left. We've seen August come alive when moments required, but now with worse weapons and not quite the angle. That is a 13-10 win.
And, well, we're already underway.
That we are, and I'm just so happy to be here. Of course, it's going to be Kilo Miles leading in on all the action, and I am Captain Ahsoka, going to be your co-host and commentator for today. And already, before we can even get the introductions done,
However, when iTheta gets the hit, then it's Nick Jam popped into the air, and that's no good. Especially when you're knocked off stage. Nick Jam trying to recover, going high, but gets knocked out of the air by the forward air, swatted away. Can he get it again? Waits for the air dodge, but he misses the up B.
ooh, already you can see Ken trying to get right back to work, but they're in the red. They're in the critical percentages. One solid hit, and honestly, from Ike, nearly every hit is solid, as that will just about do it. It's the up air to get the final stock. Oh, nice forward throw off of the edge. Not going to be able to confirm, though, as yet another final elimination goes the way of iTheta. And if I'm not mistaken, that's 3 up, 3 down. FSU take the dub.
Like I said, short little break, but we are back with our ECAC Fall Contenders Diamond to Masters Division. St. Joseph's University bringing it back on Kings Row after losing Lijiang Tower to Central Missouri. And it was a very convincing change of pace for them as they swapped over towards that Orisa. My name is Seymour, joined by True Tryhard Ray in the booth. We're going to Junkertown on Escort up next. How you feeling about that pick?
I think it's, pretty favorable for Wrecking Ball. We kind of were talking during the break. We're not so sure about the Farah, but Wrecking Ball is going to be very good on this map. But I feel like if you're St. Joseph's, you're going to feel very comfortable continuing to play this Orisa on the map. Maybe if you get to third point where the high ground control is just so necessary, maybe you make a swap at that point. But I think for this first point, Orisa is going to be incredible for them. And they have just found new life with this Orisa composition, and specifically bringing in a lot of players and swapping things around. PT Hanley going to that support has been super impressive.
Yeah, over towards that Bastion, Baptiste, just helping keep that far in check. Lord Pretzel ultimately had to swap. Jiff coming in for the Bastion and inside the DPS role for St. Joseph's. Curious to see, if St. Joseph's choose on a map, like Junkertown to bring out some more hit scans, or if they're going to opt in for staying with, the Bastion like we have seen. But it is Junkertown, so, you expect to see snipers. We got Central Missouri keeping the Wrecking Ball pick. They got the Widowmaker out, the Hanzo out. They start on their attack.
It's going to be tough work for these snipers, especially with the Sigma being able to provide that shield for their soldier that Jiff is now on. But an interesting support combination. The Brig with the Life Weaver. So the Life Weaver is just known for being an extreme heal bot. They're going to have massive amounts of healing. And with this Brig, it's just going to be nice to have that stun and that whip shot for this Wrecking Ball, and then you can protect your Life Weaver from any dives.
Yeah, and on top of the Life Weaver, just providing a little bit extra escape for this soldier if need be. But Astro and the Sombra are finally going to hunt down Mix-Up. That Widowmaker finding no value so far. Like you say, the Sigma Shield kind of providing a little bit of trouble for that, but now on an off angle, Lord Pretzel trying to do some damage here for Hanzo. Climbs back up, a little bit of dip around, and Puku comes to the aid now of Lord Pretzel. Jiff falls. We are even when it comes down to lives, and Astro now looking to escape. Awkward here, not able to get out in time, but luckily has a Life Weaver to pull him to a little bit extra safety.
Yeah, and Lord Pretzel's going to go down to Joe Crispy on that Sigma. So with the pressure coming in, St. Joseph's has the ability to sustain a little bit longer. You got some kills, but getting Jiff in the backline is going to be devastating for St. Joseph's.
Oh, and look at this. Trapping the Sigma outside. Crispy's going to fall when you really needed the Sigma most. I don't think there's going to be a time for Crispy to get back and contest this point. St. Joseph's not going to be able to hold on to P1 Junkertown. It's a nice cap from Central Missouri.
Yeah, as Buzzkill finding value on this Wrecking Ball time and time again. That's the thing.
Astro.
I feel like, yeah, Astro going down. I don't think you're going to get the subsequent value on this map with the Stormbra, especially now that the Widow is off the field. That was kind of like, okay, I play Stormbra, I can go after their snipers, but that's just not the case anymore.
Look at how much Buzzkill's doing right now. Knocks them up. The Captive Sun lands on towards that Brig. It is going to be the Lifeweaver ulting to keep this Brigade alive, and Astro trades out over towards Naho, pulling Jif to safety. PT Handley on this Lifeweaver pick now, keeping them away from the harm of Buzzkill.
St. Joseph's able to finally stabilize and it only costs them to tree, so that's got to be feeling pretty good. St. Joseph's, you have a lot of ults to continue to sustain here, while Central Missouri used a lot to get this distance on the cart. As we're going to get a battle of these tactical visors, and I think that could be a big, like, who's going to win this fight based on that.
It's a big kill onto Lord Pretzel. Chip should be able to lock down Puku as well. What's he for extra? That's the Larry you got to worry about, but Jif is a one-man army at the moment. The Soldier locking the legs and keeping Central Missouri back.
I mean, I am eating my words. Astro on this Sombra is absolutely finding the value. It's all about isolation. It's just tough to try and win that battle against the Soldier. If you get the hack and follow up with the virus, especially with the amount of damage Sombra's able to do now, you can definitely win that 1v1.
Not even that, I mean, it's the fact that the spread on the gun, too, is a lot tighter, so you can do so much, but Druidic Flux with the EMP, that virus not going to be able to take down Puku. Mix-up gets caught, and Crispy on the high ground. See if you can find a little bit of extra value. Sigma forced to back down. Buzzkill still continuing to be a nuisance on that point. Astro is going to get a hack on that, and the life grip pulls Crispy back towards this point. Mix-up will be back with the visor, but Astro immediately going to take him back to spawn. Astro gets 2, and the Sombra has come alive.
As you cannot continue to allow early pickoffs in this fight if you Central Missouri. In that fight, Puku went down so early, and that just allows Astro to get away with absolute murder at this point. And, I mean, just look at this Buzzkill, now not getting that value we saw on the first point. The peel from St. Joseph's is there.
There's just so much spam as well onto Buzzkill, and he's just never in a safe spot. The whip shot back, no momentum. Tree of Life to hopefully keep the team away from these mines, and the whip shot, the hack, EMP, whatever you're gonna throw at him, he is not feeling good right now. Crispy's dropped down to the point, accretion right on towards it, mixed up. Puku ends up falling, life grip back towards the high ground. Flawless cleanup onto Central Missouri. Naho dies to the visor as well. You're gonna have 2 ultimates for Central Missouri, but St. Joseph's has yet to fall here.
I feel like I don't see enough Lifeweaver in my competitive collegiate Overwatch, and I love seeing this out of PT Hanley. I mean, we talked about the value he got on the previous map on the Baptiste, and now is able to just let Crispy do anything he wants, and if anything gets bad, pull people out. We've seen time and time again them coming through clutch with the life grip.
Oh, hack onto the Captive Sun. Flips the Alari out of the air. Virus not going to land, but still Naho in a tough spot. 95 towards that EMP. You do have this rally ready for Goat Bus, and it will be looking to keep this visor away. Mix-up doesn't get anything with the visor. The stun now into Puku. Astro headshots down to Lord Pretzel. The Cassidy goes down. And Central Missouri sent back to their spawn once again.
Not only the stun, Seymour, but they used Kitsune Rush in that fight. They used pretty much everything they had in that fight. Lord Pretzel might be able to build up to a high noon, but they are not working with much. Puku now going to go over to the Baptiste. You're going to have more heals available, but I'm not a big fan of the Baptiste with a Wrecking Ball. Baptiste is more stationary, while Wrecking Ball is all about mobility.
The Buzzkill finally able to run over that Brig. Shield won't save her. Gonna mix up to help out now with the swap over towards Sombra. Is it gonna be enough? Mix up right out into the open. Astro's gonna do some damage. Hack onto the wrecking ball won't be available, but it's going to find the Cassidy. Virus lands, Shift cleans up, and Lord Pretzel back towards the spawn. Pile driver onto the point, doesn't matter. Buzzkill losing out on all the teammates, and Visor for Jiff to clean up the rest. Overtime candle is lit, but I don't think Buzzkill's going to be able to keep this alive for too long.
Wow. Astro on this Sombra, it's like almost they heard me. I'm just like, man, they're just not finding this value on that first point. The snipers are gone. Who are you going to go after? And then they showed up. The peel for their supports to hack Buzzkill every time he went in on them. Then you're just constantly going after Mix-Up on that soldier and constantly winning the duel. The amount of value that Astro brought to St. Joseph's on that defense was ridiculous.
You know, maybe it takes a little bit to warm up into the Sombra now. It's a lot different. You have a lot more uptime. You know, you're not so much sneaky and assassin. You're more kind of sticking close towards the rest of your team, finding these hacks, using that virus and trying to get, you know, as much damage done and as much value from your character to get that EMP as quick as possible. It's just, I like the changes that we see to the Sombra, and seeing Astro be so active for St. Joseph's, always pinning down Buzzkill constantly, making sure that this Wrecking Ball just cannot feel comfortable. It's just the recipe to success that St. Joseph's was looking for. Now swapping over towards the offense, the Roadhog pick has to be a troll. I don't want to see the Roadhog come out from Crispy. I don't know the last time I saw Roadhog in competitive, but it shouldn't start now. On the other side, Buzzkill has swapped to the Sigma, and that was exactly what I was hoping to see.
Yeah, I think it's overall a very good competition coming out of Central Missouri. Just a lot of poke, and they're even copying, pulling out that Life Weaver. Just the amount of heals and positioning fixing that he can do with that Life Grip is ridiculous. You see Jiff now going over to that Sojourn. So if you're Central Missouri, you got to be very careful, because the value that Sojourn brings to the field is getting those pickoffs with the railgun, and you have to be worried about the Discord orb that Goat Bus can put onto your team.
I didn't even see the Zenyatta pick. Pylon's gonna get hacked. Seemed like maybe you thought you were gonna get Lord Pretzel, but not the case. Hanzo is able to evade. Well, for the moment, this is getting awkward for Astro. Still fighting for their life. Naho needs to stay alive, cannot go down. But while this happens, Goatbus finds a pick onto Mix-Up.
They do end up trading for Astro, but I think the damage has been done for the side of St. Joseph's. Mix-Up is now going to go over to a Sojourn of their own and try and take this duel against Jiff, as Astro is going to go over to the Hanzo. So, you know, in the blink of an eye, we have basically turned into full mirrors, except a Zen instead of a Alari.
Yeah, now for Goatbus, you got to be a little bit worried about Mix-Up, as well as Lord Pretzel. Tree of Life from both sides. It's going to be a lot of burst heals, but Pugu still ends up falling. There's right onto Goatbus, so both supports going to be out. You're looking at the Lari as well as the Life Weaver from either team just to stay alive. They're going to Flux. Not going to find anything too much. Jiff takes down Lord Pretzel. Now looking for the rest. It is the overclock used to close this fight, and Astro with a triple kill to sweep it under the rug.
Now they're going to have just under 5 minutes to essentially get 70 meters on the second point. This is the point where St. Joseph's were able to make some changes and finally stand their ground defensively. The question is Central Missouri going to be able to do the same? They're going to be able to have a Dragons in this next fight and that Captive Sun. But we've seen St. Joseph's do a great job of forcing Naho into really bad positions and not get a lot of value out of the Captive Suns.
Astro, who's been on the May today, the Sombra, but haven't seen Hanzo. Is this exactly, you know, what they're hoping to find? Right now is the Captive Sun for Naho, just waiting to be let loose. Gets a little bit too across the corner, and now it's going to be caught by Astro, and that spam. The Storm Arrow takes down the Alari, and Lord Pretzel down as well. There's going to be 2 huge picks for St. Joseph, now looking to get this gold box of victory.
As that is going to be pretty much it. St. Joseph's are going to punch their series victory to 2-1 and put themselves on match point, as it is just stragglers coming in, but that is going to be the map. St. Joseph's is now up 2-1.
2-1 after what we saw on Lijiang with how good Buzzkill was back at the start. I'm a little bit surprised that St. Joseph's has been able to, you know, bring it back with 2 amazing maps back-to-back, Kings Row and Junkertown. This, I guess, Sigma pick from Crispy feeling a lot more comfortable after the success they found on the Orisa back on Kings Row. Astro Sombra was fantastic as well there on the Junkertown. So much positives to come out from the Hawks after that Junkertown. Where do we even start, Ray?
I'd say it's a couple of things. One, St. Joseph's has shown they're a lot more flexible and they feel a lot more comfortable swapping to different heroes depending on the situations. Whenever Central Missouri has had to swap, it hasn't felt like they felt as confident. They're just, you know, unsure of themselves, and that's been a big problem when they're forced off this wrecking ball. And them coming in, bringing Jiff on that DPS and putting PT Handley onto the support has done a world of good for them. And I mean, in-game adjustments are the name of the game for St. Joseph's, and it's just been beautiful.
Just flexing, you know, right now on UCM. The Mules, they are now down in the series 2-1 as we are heading into push up next. And, you know, a couple things on my wants right now for UCM as we do head over towards push is to see them maybe start to step away from this wrecking ball. It seems like it's been kind of a one trick towards the side, and it did work. It was a little bit of a surprise to pull it out on that Lijiang. St. Joseph's, they just could not wrap their head around it for that control point. But as we head in towards push, they have figured out this composition. They've beaten it twice. We need to see something change for UCM.
We have to see some adjustment. We talked about how good it's been for St. Joseph's. We need to see it come through on the Central Missouri side. I'm looking at coaches. I'm looking at in-game leaders, captains. Like, you got to figure out some answer to these compositions we've seen, as it looks like we'll be going to New Queen Street as St. Joseph, is on match point.
Match point. They can put it away here. New Queen Street. You basically see Toronto from my window, so lovely to get back over towards here. Crispy, hovering over the Ramacha right at the bat. I got a little bit excited. But Buzzkill hovering the Zarya and mixing up towards the Orisa. This is something that you wanted to see back on Kings Row.
Yeah, I felt like they didn't give the Zarya enough time. I thought it was going well. It was just too late by the time they swapped to it, and they weren't able to build up to a grab and really make things work. And the ultimate economy was just staggering in St. Joseph's favor. So I like their chances coming into New Queen Street with the Zarya.
Already up to 80 charge. Lord Pretzel swapping to the Reaper as well. Jiff's the first one to get caught. The gold used for Crispy. It's time for Buzzkill to start this walk right in towards this enemy lines. The immortality gonna be used. Oh, gotta watch out for your Lucio, but almost at full charge is going to be Buzzkill. Lord Pretzel ends up falling. Is this where St. Joseph's gonna find the turn?
It very well could be. I was actually going to suggest some changes for St. Joseph's, but they're playing it very well despite losing someone early in the fight. And Astra is continuing to get this pressure on the Sombra.
Close to going down for mix-up. It's a lovely bubble to keep your Bastion alive, but still Astro punishing that Lifeweaver in their positioning. And not only that, doubles down towards the Bastion. Astro with 3. Can you make it 4? The cleanup with the help of PT Handley and Jiff. 5 down for Central Missouri. And look at 35 progression, 35 meters of progression already for the Hawks.
There is just no peel coming out for Puku on the Lifeweaver. We saw when St. Joseph's was running the Lifeweaver, they had Goat Bust on the brig. You can protect your Lifeweaver. Alari doesn't have like the utility. All you do is hope you get the kill.
Puku, you're looking to see if your team can make those changes. Lots of chip damage from Lord Pretzel, but nothing too threatening towards that Bastion. No shadow step for Lord Pretzel, and ends up going down. A second one out of Puku. Buzzkill and Puku started to put this into the favor of Central Missouri. Clean up onto Astro. Only one standing is Crispy. They did reach the halfway marker, so they will have those close spawns, but that's a very clean fight win for Central Missouri.
And getting those forward spawns are a big deal going forward for St. Joseph's, because look at this. They're already prepped and ready to take on another fight, so Central Missouri is not going to be able to gain themselves that much distance without committing more ultimates to this fight. And I am looking at Buzzkill and Lord Pretzel, this grab with the Death Blossom that they have coming online.
With the Terra Surge, the artillery cannon, Jiff is going to find Naho. Javelin on the Buzzkill, pushing the Zarya farther and farther away from this point. Cleans up the Zarya. Astro takes down Lord Pretzel in a very fast retake from St. Joseph's.
And that's St. Joseph's being the aggressors. Missouri technically had, you know, just as many ultimates online, but St. Joseph's with that Lucio got in their face, pressed Q, and won the fight. We got to see, I need to see some fight from Missouri. I'm not trying to say they gave up, but it just feels like they're taking it right now.
Yeah, just reactionary gameplay is not the way that they want to handle this business. It's the Death Blossom, like you say, combo for the grab available. Astro feeding information over towards the team will be detected for the short minute, but all the fights happening back on point. Chip with the trade, mix-up gets the first one, and the Captain's Son will find this Bastion. Not going to have to use the grab just yet. They still hold on to it, as well as the Death Blossom.
That's big, being able to win the fight with just the Captive Son, but because of the forward spawns, you're pretty much going to have to use the grab and Death Blossom to make sure you start getting some major distance on this point, trying to match the forward spawns. If you are Central Missouri, you got to make this happen right here. Now, problem is, Goat Bus has the perfect counter with this sound barrier.
Grab right here. Pulls them into the tunnel. Lord Pretzel nowhere close to being able to follow that up. Nobody from Central Missouri there to help with that grab. And St. Joseph, they withstand. And Matrix now into the back line. Lord Pretzel falls to PT Hanley. Quickly brought back from Central Missouri. And the boot from Goat Bust not going to be able to be lived out from Puku. Buzzkill's getting punched by the Lucio. PT Hanley should be able to stay alive with the help of Crispy. I thought Central Missouri had that, but St. Joseph's back in control.
Not great communication coming out from Missouri when they were going to use that Graviton Surge. You now have Buzzkill going over to the Orisa, and Lord Pretzel has yet to use his Death Blossom, and because of the bad grab, Goat Bus has kept the sound barrier.
Oh, here it is. Death Blossom right in front of the Lucio will end up taking him down. The Immortality kept the rest alive, and Lord Pretzel will fall to PT Hanley, but with Central Missouri off of that lovely Reaper ult, they should be able to clean up the rest and start to push this back over towards that half. It did get the forward spawns, though, still.
Yeah, exactly. It just feels like a big game of Seesaw coming out from St. Joseph. They're playing the positioning game of this bot to absolute perfection, making Central Missouri's ability to gain any distance on this bot absolutely impossible, as now Jip throws in the artillery strike with the Terra Surge.
Terra Surge, artillery cannon. Jiff takes down Mix-Up first, and I mean, that combo is just so lethal. It takes me back to the double shield comp, man. It's just seeing the pull in mixed with something, you know, where it used to be the, you know, the pull rock combo between the Sigma and the Orisa. And then now the Bastion gets a little bit of love.
Or the pull flux as well. Yeah. Great combinations. As Puku's gonna have this nano to throw in on this fight. Question is, who's your target? It's definitely not Buzzkill because he's dead.
Yeah, Asher's waiting for his chance to strike with that virus. As soon as Buzzkill goes down, as the green light says go, and St. Joseph looking to green light this victory on New Queen Street. Lord Pretzel will be able to stall this out for the rest of the team to get back, but is it going to be enough to have this Terra Surge as well as the Nano? The Captain's Son, a little bit of damage there from Lord Pretzel. Back over towards Crispy. Terra Surge on point, met with the EMP of Astro. So many players going to be caught with it, and here's the Captain's Son. Reaches towards that Baptiste, but not going to be able to take down PT Hanley just yet, as the cleanup finally going to be there. Central Missouri slowly holding on to this one, and it's not done just yet.
As they keep their grip on the edge of the cliff just in time before falling out and losing this series. They keep it alive just a little bit longer. Lord Pretzel is going to have an EMP. The problem is we're getting dangerously close to that Terra Surge artillery strike combination once again coming out from St. Joseph. So we are under 3 minutes to go.
Oh no. And you've already lost the Alari. That's not only sustain, but it's damage lost for Central Missouri. Crispy has no worry in the world to just run it down towards Puku, and nobody can stop them. Buzzkill's doing his best. The Javelin does reach onto one, but it's Crispy taking down Lord Pretzel. PT Handley finds mix-up. 2 minutes left, and St. Joseph's so close to beating it out before that.
And the forward spawns come out once again for St. Joseph's as Central Missouri, again, they're going to have an EMP and a Terra Surge. What kind of value can they find? Because they have just been fighting an uphill battle this entire map as their lives to make the playoffs are on the line.
At this point, you have to wait for the Terra Surge. But is there enough time? Terra Surge is going to be online. EMP for Lord Pretzel, fishing for an opportunity, and here it is, right on towards that artillery cannon. Their Vitality not going to be able to save one, but it will. Jeff takes down Puku, stays alive, responds over towards Mix-Up, and 3 make it 4 go down for Central Missouri. This could spell terror.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get some people back to be able to touch in time as St. Joseph's is down 1 as well, but they found Puku.
They found Puku. They found Naho. Buzzkill makes it towards the point to stall this one out, but it's only 3 members versus the 5 of St. Joseph's. The Hawks, they have taken flight. They are soaring through New Queen Street with the sound barrier of Goat Bust. It's it all but over. PT Hanley takes down Puku. The Trickles aren't going to be able to sustain themselves on points. It was a fantastic start for Central Missouri, but they've met their end here. Only a few moments left for the Staggers to be thrown down. The pile drive on point from Buzzkill is not going to find any value. The cleanups happen, and St. Joseph's take New Queen Street. They take the best of 5, and they've punched their ticket to playoffs.
Shout outs to St. Joseph's. They deserve this victory. They proved not only to be the better team, but to be the far flexible team in all kinds of situations. I mean, what did we see from them today? We saw Ryan back on Lijiang Tower. We come into Kings Row. We get the Orisa. We go to Junkertown. We get the Sigma, and then they bring it home with the Orisa. And their DPS continued to play their mystery heroes, but playing them to perfection, as it just felt like Jiff and PT Handley making those swaps were exactly what they needed. And ever since then, they went on a 3-0 domination tear.
Yeah, I mean, their ideas were on point. Their adaptability was fantastic. You know, the way that they just never felt stuck onto one composition, I think, is what led St. Joseph to have a leg over Central Missouri tonight. You know, you look back at Lijiang Tower, and as soon as Buzzkill came over to the Wrecking Ball, it's one of those situations at this point where it's like, whoa, we haven't seen Wrecking Ball be played for a little bit now. Possibly St. Joseph's were a little bit rusty playing against this composition. They couldn't get the ball going right away, but man, as soon as they did, that ball was always 10 steps ahead.
Couldn't agree with you more. So once again, congratulations to St. Joseph's getting that 4th win on the season. For Central Missouri, I feel like you just got to go back to the drawing board, clean up a few things here or there, and you only got to get one more win. We're only at the halfway point of the season, so plenty of time for you to secure that playoff spot. But with that, that is pretty much going to wrap up things for me and Seymour here. Shout outs to everyone on behind the scenes and on the production. Coltoon, Cool Scouts, Prof Layton. We could not do what we do without you guys. And with that, we bid you adieu. Later.
And well, we're already underway.
that we are, and I'm just so happy to be here. Of course, it's going to be Kilo Miles leading in on all the action, and I am Captain Ahsoka, going to be your co-host and commentator for today. And already, before we can even get the introductions done,
However, when I-Theta gets the hit, then it's NickJam popped into the air, and that's no good. Especially when you're knocked off stage, NickJam trying to recover, going high, but gets knocked out of the air by the forward air, swatted away. Can he get it again? Waits for the air dodge, but he misses the up B.
already you can see Ken trying to get right back to work, but they're in the red. They're in the critical percentages. One solid hit, and honestly, from Ike, nearly every hit is solid, as that will just about do it. It's the up air to get the final stock. Oh, nice forward throw off of the edge. Not going to be able to confirm, though, as yet another final elimination goes the way of I-Theta. And if I'm not mistaken, that's 3 up, 3 down. FSU take the dub.
Oh, Helix. I would have liked to see him press that because you can't get that height off the wall, and Mux is going to be able to take advantage of it. And I mean, we've seen flip resets, we've seen ceiling challenges, and we just get the basic old school air dribble to go right into the net. It's going to be Helix with the dribble away. Bumps 11-10 out of the way as well. That might be a goal. Helix over the top. Great downfield pass, and they're going to take advantage of the space created by this demolition. Able to get that one away. Helix going to get a pass back to the midfield, looking for Pancake. Going for the double tap. Squishy save attempt. Not going to be there. Here's Helix off the side, and a forced own goal once again. Concord's going to take the lead. And Pancake's not able to read that as Helix gets a monster dunk here. Can he turn around on it? He can. Helix.
Just realizing this ball's got to go somewhere and always knows. Now Matt Mux down bottom. Oh, brutal right there. Oxygen. Okay.
84?
82. My goodness.
Okay,
I could not have been farther off. Excuse me, folks. Excuse me.
As this one might find the back of the net, and it does again.
Boy.
ET, let's give him 4. You know, we're talking about everything else.
14 seconds, maybe in somebody's dreams. There's another goal down bottom. 7 score differential here.
Zarya choice that V-Snipes is sitting on is going to help bring St. Francis to victory, but already Ohio Northern is going to get into the bases. Millions taking out their counterpart, and Zephyr now looking towards any more targets to be found, but the way they're falling, it's going to be basically just like that. It's already over before it even begins. And they do that with 5%. Almost everyone in St. Francis caught inside of that Earth Shatter. The Immortality Field may have come up, but the damage, you cannot survive through it. No one able to touch from St. Francis. And Ohio Northern here, Jag is going to take map 1 of DePaul 2-0, 100-0 each round. V-Snipes push yourselves.